I want you to look at this. How did plants and animals spread across the world? Why are they so diverse? Why are North and South Pole animals have white coats? And why do big cats have patterns on their body? And lastly, why do these big creepy plants exist in the world? Oh yeah, they exist in Indonesia. Why? Well, to answer all that question, let's go way back to the formation of the earth and let's see how the flora and fauna have grown and spread to the world. Side note, we will also learn how the flora and fauna have spread in Indonesia. So this video serves as a project and please enjoy. Okay, so first things first, we all know what flora and fauna means, right? Flora is the other term for plants, and then fauna is the other term for animals. So all things cleared. And then what else? So first topic, we need to know the how they are linked with each other. So the keyword of this is biome. Of course, we have learned about biomes, about the types of biomes back in grade 10, but right now I will just recite what do you call it, some of them, the broad explanation about them. So biome is the areas where organisms that have similar characteristics live with each other, and there are several types of biomes that exist in the world. In Indonesia, the biome that exists in Indonesia are tropical rainforest and Savannah. So yeah, the first type of biome is tropical rainforest. You can find several distinctive animals and plants here, like yeah, the creepy giant plants that I showed you earlier, and then more to come about the animals later on. We can find tigers and then elephants. And one distinctive feature about animals in tropical rainforest is that they are all what do you call it, they have the capability of withstand rain season and then dry season. Let's go to the next type of forest. That there are temperate forests, that this exists in across Europe and the northern part of the world. You can find bears and then woodpeckers and then giant trees. Yeah, they can also they can also turn into winter forest, even though they're still called as deciduous forest. Next one is the one of the most distinctive biome, which is the desert biome. You can find cactus. Cactus is the iconic plants here, and one distinctive feature of cactus that they can withstand long periods without water because they save their water through their thorns. And then tundra. Tundra is the opposite of desert. It's very cold in temperature. And then in tundra you can find what do you call it, animals that have white coats. And then tundra exists in Greenland. And then yeah, taiga is the other term for boreal forest. Animals like weasels, grouse, and rabbits you can find there. And then it's actually similar to deciduous forest but different in temperature and humidity. This one is grassland or plains. It exists in some parts of Africa. And then what else? Yeah, flowers and herbs grow here. They are prosperous here, and they receive little to no precipitation or rain. Savannah is the prominent biome in Africa, similar to plains, but savanna has distinctive characteristic where animals like the big cats, iconic big cats like lions, and then leopards, they all live in savannas. Oh yeah, in Indonesia there are also savannas in Sumba. And what else? Oh yeah, the water biome. We almost forget the water biome. Actually, when I studied in grade 10, I don't think we have covered this biome. But anyways, marine biome is basically the 75% of the earth, which is covered by water. That's simple. That's all I can explain about the biome. So biome is the place where organisms with similar characteristics live with each other. Those that can withstand hot temperature, those that can do the opposite, those that like more humidity, like in rainforest and stuff, they all live together. They are what you call it, grouped based on their characteristics. But then where did it come from? So right now we will talk about the evolution of life. Okay, so we have started this video with the explanation of biomes, the areas where organisms with similar characteristics live with each other. And then the second one, I have explained about the evolution of life from 3.8 billion years ago until this very day. And then the third one, it will be the factors that affects the distribution of flora and fauna. So there are several factors. Here I have found 4, but previously during class I have studied about 4. The first one is climate, physiography, edaphic, and biotic. Maybe some of you don't understand several of the meanings, several of the terms that I just mentioned earlier. So first of all, climate, it has something to do with temperature, humidity, and then wind, the rate of wind, and then precipitation or rain, and then the amount of sunlight. The second one, physiography. What is that? Physiography, I believe it has something to do with the physical location, just like the definition itself. Physiography deals with the very location the organism is placed upon. And then edaphic, I believe it has something to do with soil, the amount of soil, and so on. I will explain later on. And then lastly, biotic. I believe this is the symbiosis or the relationship with other organisms. So on this website, I found another factors that affect the distribution of flora and fauna, and I will recite them one by one. The first one is land. Land affects the natural vegetations, of course. Land is the place where they grow, and it affects them both directly and indirectly. Land affects the fertility level, how much they can grow, how much they can produce more, how much grasslands and woodlands can develop, and then how they can maintain the wildlife there. I'm sorry for the mispronunciation. And let's go to the next, soil, which I earlier mentioned in the terms of edaphic. And soil, different types of soil means different types of organisms that can live. Vegetation, I mean. So when you have different soils, different vegetations can live in there. And what else? The next one is temperature. Temperature is the part of the climate. Of course, just like what we mentioned earlier, biomes, desert biomes and tundra biomes, they are very different because one prominent characteristics, which is temperature. And then sunlight. Sunlight, it has something to do with temperature also. I will not explain them because of course just by logic we can pull the points there. And then precipitation. Precipitation is the amount of rain given. Places that have higher rate of precipitation, they have denser vegetation. Just like tropical rainforest, they receive more rain than other biomes. So therefore they are very dense with plants and then diverse wildlife. That's why Indonesia is considered one of the most diverse country in terms of biodiversity. And then lastly, biotic. Biotic is symbiosis. It's a very elementary lesson. We all know the 3: the mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism. Relationship between organisms. So I will not so previously we have mentioned 5 or so factors that affect distribution of flora and fauna. They are climate, and then physiography, edaphic, biotic, and also land. So right now I will explain about Indonesia's distribution of flora and fauna. From east to west, from west to east, we all know about this very important line. What is it? It's the Weber and Wallace line. What is that? Weber and Wallace line are the lines that what do you call it? The differentiates flora and fauna in Indonesia. There are three. There are two lines that separate Indonesia into three parts: the west, and the middle, and the east. There are distinctive terms that we can call the west, middle, and east. The first one is Asiatic, or the west part, and then transitional, or the middle part, and then the east part we call as Australian. This is what we classify flora and fauna in Indonesia, and right now I will be explaining about each. This is the main point of our video. Right now I will be explaining about the flora and fauna of Indonesia. So just like what I had mentioned earlier, it is divided into three parts by the Wallace and Weber line: the Asiatic flora and fauna, the transitional, and then the Australian. What are the distinctive characteristics between those three? I will explain one by one. So the first one is Asiatic. From the coast of Sumatra until Java and also Kalimantan Island, they are all considered as Asiatic. Meanwhile, transitional consists of Nusa Tenggara and then Timor-Leste. No, not really Timor-Leste. Yeah, parts of Timor-Leste actually, but then yeah, we're talking about Indonesia, and then Sulawesi. And Australia consists of Maluku and Ambon Island, and then Papua. So, what are the characteristics? In Asiatic flora and fauna, they have a characteristic that's similar to the Asia continent flora and fauna. One of some examples of fauna. First, we're gonna talk about animals because it's more easier to understand. Examples of fauna here is tigers, and then elephants, rhinos, and then orangutan, and then tapir, and many more actually. Oh yeah, we also have squirrels, and then buffaloes, and then we have deers also in Asiatic. Okay, so let's go to the next. The reptiles, we have tringgiling, and then turtles, of course we have that, toke also. And yeah, in Java we have this very iconic elang Jawa, and also owl, Javan owl. Aside from those faunas, I'd like to highlight one of the most endangered fauna, which is pesut mahakam. Yeah, this type of dolphin is about to be extinct, so yeah, we need to do our part by saving them. Aside from the fauna, we also have a fauna such as pohon depritocampus, carpus, and then yeah, one of the most iconic flora in Asiatic area is the Rafflesia arnoldi, and also the bunga bangkai. Okay, let's go to the next. Now, the transitional period. So, aside from the flora and fauna from Java and Sumatra and Kalimantan, let's go to the next one, which is Sulawesi, Nusa Tenggara, and so on. So, this certain fauna has become the icon of transitional area faunas. It is the Komodo dragon, the endangered species lizard that exists in places like islands like Rinca Island and then Komodo Island in Nusa Tenggara. And other faunas include anoa, babi rusa, monyet hitam, and then ikan duyung, or what we also call as dugong. And then we also have this kuskus, Tarsius. Yeah, Cuscus and Tarsius. And in Sumba, we have this population of wild horses. It's very cool and unique. And of course, the reptiles, we have giant saltwater crocodile, and then pythons, those types of snakes, and amphibians also. And the birds, here we have kakatua, and then burung nuri, burung merpati, and so on. Okay, that's for the flora. The flora is similar to Asiatic, but no, we cannot find Rafflesia arnoldi in Sulawesi or so on. Okay, let's go to the next, which is the Australis. Now, if Asiatic animals have characteristic like the Asia continent animals, so Australia has the characteristic of Australian continent animals. Just like, for example, burung kasuari, and then this very distinctive bird, the cendrawasih from Papua Island, and then ikan arwana juga. It is also can be found in Australia's area. And then here we can find eucalyptus plant and so on. This is the last segment of this video. I will make it fast, and so right now I will be explaining about the characteristic of the three distribution of flora and fauna in Indonesia. The first one is Asiatic. Asiatic, only mostly large sized mammals are found here, like elephants, and then rhinos, and then tapir, and then apes can also be found here, like the iconic orangutan, and then birds with less vibrant colors are more common here. If you compare it to the Australian, you cannot find how brightly colored birds here. Only not so distinctive ones. In Papua, you can find vibrant birds like burung kasuari, the blue one, and then burung cendrawasih. They are all vibrant. So that's the opposite of Asiatic. Next one, there are no marsupials. I will explain what marsupial is later on. And then tropical forest type of flora like meranti, camper, and then mahoni. And then vegetation here is dominated by heavy leaves. So the next one is transitional. The flora and fauna here are endemic. What do you mean by endemic? It can only be found there. You cannot find Komodo on other islands. You can only find it on Komodo Island or Rinca Island. And then Australian, marsupial. Marsupial are the types of animals that have what do you call it? Kantong in bahasa, just like kangaroos, and then a platypus, and so on. And then like Tasmanian devil, and so on. And then